So the Phoenix Suns get a win over the Los Angeles Lakers, 115-105. I'm joined by my guest, Reliable Rants, one of the biggest Lakers fans that I know. So, Reliable, just right off the top, your quick reaction, quick thoughts about tonight's game, any takeaways? What are you thinking, man?
Overall, I think I'm pretty happy with how the Lakers played. If I'm looking at an overall scheme, I think against the Spurs, when we blew them out, I think we played a very similar way. We tried to get AD the ball early on, and we played aggressive. We're just we don't. I'm overall happy with how we played, just because we don't have a good enough team to beat you guys. And we overall, I like the game plan that we had in the first half. Feed AD. Russ has been looking amazing as of late. Yeah. Lonnie has been looking amazing. Austin Reeves has been looking amazing. Over the past 5 games, we were on a 3-game winning streak. So overall, I wasn't mad about how we played. Obviously, we were in it the entire game. And out of the third quarter, yeah, we went down by 10, but our third quarter offense has been like the worst in the league. So I was pretty happy that, we stayed in that and we didn't let y'all go on one of your big runs, especially since we were in the Valley and we know how crazy those fans can get. So like overall, I was satisfied. I still think we have a lot to work on, but no LeBron, and we kept it to the last minute. Like, I'm happy. AD had a historic lines, historic game, and he wasn't even as aggressive as we wanted him to be in the fourth quarter either. So it's like he got injured, but overall, like, I'm not mad. Like, I think Austin Reeves could have been more aggressive, but I'm not mad. That overall thoughts.
Well, speaking of Anthony Davis, I am glad you brought that up because I did do some prep work before the show. Obviously, the Lakers before this game were on a 3-game winning streak, and I saw that Anthony Davis has been playing out of his mind. 30 points, 15 rebounds in each game. He was averaging like 35 points and 17 boards recently.
Yeah, 5 blocks, 5 steals.
Right, like putting up crazy. And I did see the highlights to that Spurs game. Looked very aggressive, doing a lot of great things out there. And you know me, I'm a big NBA history fan, so I do got to bring this up. Anthony Davis is the 3rd Laker in franchise history to record 30-plus points, 15 rebounds in 3 consecutive games, joining the GOAT, Elgin Baylor, and Shaquille O'Neal. I had to bring up Elgin Baylor.
I thought it was going to be Wilt and Kareem, honestly.
I know, right? But yeah, I had to bring that up. But no, he's been playing really. I even jokingly tweeted out, I know you're not on Twitter, but I joked out. I said, Anthony Davis is really going to have 40-plus points and 20-plus rebounds on us, isn't he? And he almost did. He was absolutely incredible tonight. 38 minutes, 11 for 17 shooting, 15 free throws, which we'll talk about later. 37 points, 21 boards, 5 steals, 5 blocks. I don't even know what to say.
And he could have had more. I mean, in the fourth quarter, especially, I thought Russ is obviously really good at getting to the basket, but he was taking a lot of okay shots and not passing them up for better shots.
Right.
Off the roll, getting the ball to AD is way more beneficial than Russ, throwing his body at the paint, which he's been good at. But I just think there were so many more opportunities to get AD the ball. And even if it's not there, just try to find ways to put the ball in his hands, because he's going to draw a foul or get a bucket every time. Right. And I thought Russ was being a little bit selfish in that fourth quarter, unfortunately. But
if I'm correct, is Russell Westbrook averaging like 16 and 8 off the bench? I know he's been super productive.
That sounds about right, honestly. Maybe like 15 or 14, but yeah, he's been amazing.
I don't know what it is, man. I just feel like this Lakers team always seems to take it up a notch when they're playing the Phoenix Suns, man. They're a lot more aggressive. This was obviously a closer game than the Suns wanted it to be. Your Lakers closed out this halftime anyways on an 18-6 run. It was a really sloppy game for the Phoenix Suns, man. Lots of missed shots. The Lakers had 33 points in the second quarter. And look, I'm not going to lie. I am a really big Russell Westbrook fan. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I am, and I am glad that he's playing well off the bench. But yeah, he looked pretty good tonight. What did he finish with, by the way? I should just pull up the numbers right now.
I think he had at least like 20, right?
Let me just pull up the numbers real quick, and we will.
Honestly, like there's what's happened is there's still so many Westbrook fans. It's just the Westbrook haters have like overshadowed them.
Facts. That is facts right there. Here's the numbers, by the way.
21.
Russell Westbrook off the bench, 31 minutes. 8 for 20. Not very efficient, but still finished.
Honestly,
with 21
that's like
points.
45% or something. That's like not that bad. Like,
right.
It's fine.
That was something I was going to bring up with Devin Booker, who, by the way, Booker, and we'll get to like, most of the players and the teams. Booker's a little inefficient, but he still finishes with like 20 something points on whatever percentage that is. And Booker finished with 25 tonight.
What's funny?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Something I like always think of is like whenever there's a player who can score like 20 or 25, like so quietly without you even like realizing it, that's like a superstar. Like literally, I couldn't even like Booker had 21, and I was like, wait, when did Booker even score?
That's
It's
Devin
like
Booker.
That's what he does, type stuff.
That's the reason I brought it up. And I've kind of mentioned that in some of my past live shows. I'm like, Booker had like 25 or he had like 29, but he shot like whatever for 20, 23 from the field. I'm like, that's what Devin Booker does. He's obviously not the most flashiest player in the league, but the dude is a superstar. And at one point earlier this season, he was playing at an MVP level, and he is just so damn good. Devin Booker, we could literally spend a whole hour talking about him. I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, but that's just how these live streams, that's how these live shows do.
I found a crazy stat.
What was your crazy stat?
So, okay, Troy Brown Jr., Patrick Beverley, and Dennis Schroeder played a combined 70 minutes all together and scored a combined 0 points. It's a crazy stat. Like honestly, crazy stat.
When we spend a little time later talking about the Lakers, I did kind of want to get your thoughts on that because with all due respect to those players, it's just not good enough.
Honestly, Troy Brown has been amazing. Troy Brown has had like 20-point games.
Played for Washington, right?
Like, he was on Washington. He's come in the rotation, and Darvin Ham's played him like so much as of late. So like he's been good. Beverly has been just disappointing this year, honestly. I mean, he had 10 rebounds, but like he's average. The numbers, obviously, Patrick Beverly has never been a numbers guy, but even on the defensive end this year, like Schroeder does the same thing he's been doing. We haven't seen that notorious Patrick Beverly, in my opinion, this year.
Right.
And then Schroeder's coming back from injury, so I don't know how to feel about him yet. But
right. No, I did kind of want to pick your brain about the Lakers, and we will kind of get into that in a little bit. It is good to hear that Troy Brown Jr. has been playing better for you guys. Somebody who I like on you guys, and this kind of goes along with like the statistics and everything, is Austin Reeves, man. I know that statistically he may not show it each and every single night, but the last time he played the Phoenix Suns, he had like 9 assists. And then tonight, the dude played hard. He only put up 11 and 4 plus 3 rebounds. In my opinion, that dude plays hard.
He's one of my favorite players in the league right now.
Dude,
honestly.
And again, this goes back to what I said earlier. For some reason, when he plays the Phoenix Suns, he just seems to play good. But have you seen a lot out of him? What have you seen?
He's like honestly currently he's my favorite Laker. I mean, honestly, especially this is what I've seen improve from last year. He was like a twig. This year he's big, he's huge, and he drives to the basket and he draws contact. Did you see that play where he just bitched Torrey Craig? I yelled at the TV when he did that. Like, was
that when he like pump faked? Was that on Campaign or Torrey Craig?
No, it was
it when
Craig.
He pump faked
like on the left wing, and he like pump faked and just and he got the layup.
I saw that.
So it's like last year, Austin Reeves was just a skinny white shooter. This year, he's a big body defensive monster who could drive to the basket.
Just real quick, if I can nitpick at something on the Phoenix Suns end, and I know that Anthony Davis was unstoppable tonight. You kind of just brought up my next point. Some of the Suns' defense tonight was pretty rough. They were just letting players cut to the basket, especially Anthony Davis. But I did see that a few times with like Russell Westbrook and Austin Reeves and everything. And then honestly, I'll be real with you. I didn't know that Lonnie Walker had 24 points. Like that.
Lonnie's a bucket. He's a bucket.
I knew that he was a solid player, but I didn't know.
He's been our third best player the whole year. And it hasn't even been close, really. He's put up consistently like 19 points a game over the past couple of weeks. And like he's efficient. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's everything. He's a perfect piece. It's just we don't have enough of those perfect pieces around us,
Well, I know that when LeBron's out, someone else has to be your highest scorer besides Anthony Davis.
Lonnie's
so shout out to Lonnie Walker. Because again, I knew he was on the court and everything, but I didn't know he had 24 points. That's pretty crazy. Probably because I was watching Westbrook and Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves all night. Who would have known? But I really wanted just to kind of get your quick thoughts in terms of the Lakers and everything and the statistics. Let me see real quick. The Lakers did struggle a little bit, or not. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They were terrible tonight from 3-point range, 4 for 24.
As per usual.
If I'm correct, I don't think they even score. Did they only hit like 1-3 in the second half? I could be wrong on that. But either way, terrible shooting night from three.
What did Westbrook shoot from three? He had a couple threes tonight.
Westbrook was 2 for 6, which,
Yeah, not too good, but yeah, I mean,
same thing as Lonnie
Westbrook
Walker.
shouldn't be shooting 6 threes. That shouldn't be happening.
And, the fact that it was Lonnie Walker and Westbrook that were the only two Lakers that scored a 3, I think that.
We need Matt Ryan in there, man.
Dude, I love Matt Ryan. Dude,
I love Matt Ryan too. His story is just amazing. He was an Uber Eats driver, and now he's hitting game winners.
Laughing respectfully. I actually legit love that dude.
Yeah,
man. Where was he tonight? Why didn't he play?
He hasn't been in the rotation the last week. I think it's just because of his liability defensively, and he can't really penetrate. He's literally just a 3-point shooter. So, like, most of the 3-point shooters in the league have something else they can do, like on the defensive end. Obviously, that's where the term 3 and D comes from. But Ryan is kind of just a shooter, so it's hard to play him, because he can't really do much else.
That's fair. That's fair. Real quick, shout out to my guy Cody, who says, "Happy Thanksgiving, my dude." # thankful for Suns Geek. Cody, you're a great friend to my brother and I appreciate your generosity, man. You totally didn't have to do that. He also follows that up by saying, "Don't forget to Hulk smash and roundhouse kick that like button." Appreciate you, man. I have to play my very expensive, totally well produced, like James Cameron and a bunch of other directors produced this drop that I'm about to play for you. Here's my super chat drop. Can you tell that was totally high produced and I spent like 20 hours on that thing? That's my super chat
I
drop.
actually believed you until I heard the confetti noise thing. I was like, oh, damn, this might be like some Christopher Nolan Interstellar.
Speaking of drops, you guys, if you've been watching the past few shows, I've been doing some drops on this show, inspired by my good friends over at the Suns Jam Session podcast. Let's just talk about the Phoenix Suns real quick. We don't have to talk about every player, and this is kind of where I want to play some drops and everything, but let's start with Mikal Bridges. We all know what he can do on the defensive end. He played 41 minutes tonight, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 5 made threes. Mikal Bridges all season long has been stepping it up offensively, especially when we need it. And tonight was one of those nights, man. Wasn't hesitant, just really took advantage of what the Lakers were giving him, in my opinion, was super aggressive, hitting his shots. And you know what? I feel a little silly because I'm talking about Mikal Bridges, but I forgot to play his drop. Check this out.
Suns fans, go Mikal Bridges, Mikal Bridges, Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges.
I remember you uploaded a video once. That was just that stupid video of Frank Kaminsky saying that with like a bunch of different clips of Mikal Bridges like playing over it for like a minute.
I was gonna say, do you remember that? Does that sound
video
familiar?
is like legendary.
Guys, I had to play that. That's my drop right there. But real talk, Mikal Bridges was absolutely fantastic tonight and reliable. I don't know how many Suns games you've watched this year or how much you've really been following the Suns, but let me tell you, Mikal Bridges offensively has been really good for the most part. There are some games he struggles, but the growth from what we've been witnessing from Mikal Bridges has been really great this year. With all due respect to Marcus Smart last year, I thought he got robbed of the Defensive Player of the Year. So just real quick, have you seen much from Mikal Bridges this year? What did you see from him in tonight's game? Any takeaways from Mikal Bridges? Just real quick.
Yeah, I haven't watched many Suns games this year. Obviously, I've heard about Mikal going off this year, as he has. First takeaway is he has some, like, every time I see him, his arms get longer. I swear to God. His arms are ridiculously. But in all seriousness, no, he was everything. He was energy. He was, like Chris Paul was saying, he's a lockdown defender, and he was just what I've seen from Mikal is confidence. Like there was just one three that I saw. It was like I think it might have been second quarter. He came around on the corner and just like contested, but just pulled it with like full confidence and hit that. right in like someone's mouth. So it was like, I don't think that's a shot Mikal would have shot last year. I think his confidence has skyrocketed, and that's played a big way into his offensive production because he's always been that guy defensively. But now his three is consistent. Like it always has, but now it's like butter.
Yeah,
he's driving and he's making good decisions and confident decisions. I think it's just natural, like him maturing as a player and his talent finally, coming to fruition.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And don't get me wrong. Let's be real. He's a human being. He's not Kawhi Leonard, so he's not a robot. He does have nights where he does struggle. He does have nights where he doesn't hit the three. Or if he does hit the three, it's not very efficient. But you are right. He continues to be aggressive. He does cut to the rim. Yeah. I've always called him one of the best cutters in the NBA, which he really is. And in a way, I've actually seen a little bit less cutting this year because he's actually taking it, being how do I say this? Like he's shooting more mid-range shots and more three-pointers, if you will, but he still can cut to the basket. Last year, he did a lot of that. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he's also more of he has the ball in his hands more, so he's not off ball more. Therefore, there's less cut opportunities, and he's less standing in the corner. I mean, I haven't watched all the games, but I mean, I'm guessing like since Chris Paul's been out, like I know he's been a bigger member of the offense.
And thank you for bringing that up. Let me pull up this little quotes and notes thing right here. And I want to make sure I actually get this quote right because Chris Paul was on the TNT broadcast tonight, which, by the way, we need more Chris Paul on that. I don't know if you agree with that.
That was such a disaster, that interview.
Well, what I was going to say was when he was actually talking about the Phoenix Suns, it was legit, but you are right. I think there was some communication issues.
So the guy, what's the announcer's name? I forget his name.
Kevin Harlan. Yeah, Kevin Harlan.
I think it is. Yeah, he was like announcing with the earpiece in, and then all of a sudden, first of all, they asked him about campaign twice, and then it was just that was a disaster. It was just funny to me.
I just want to make sure I get this quote right. And I did tweet it out earlier. So let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, we're looking good. So Mikal Bridges, or not Mikal Bridges, Cam, I can't even talk. Bruh. Wow. Chris Paul said, and I quote, "Mikal is so good, probably one of the most undervalued players in the league. He doesn't miss games. And then as he said that, Mikal Bridges drained a three and Chris Paul said cash. So I just wanted to share that. But you are right. That interview was pretty bad. I think he thought they asked about Bismack Biyombo. So he talked about
poorly organized interview. No, they said like Mikal's played 360 something games in a row or something. Which is ridiculous.
I know. And the
he
dude
hasn't gotten sick or anything. Like he's just
the dude is an NBA Iron Man. There's a reason they call him that. And fingers crossed, I pray to the NBA gods that he does not get hurt or sick or anything. We could probably have a whole show about NBA injuries this year.
I remember a year or two ago, I was asking a question that stumped you. It was who would you rather have, Cam Johnson or Mikal Bridges? And now that's pretty obvious, I think.
By the way, if you want to check out part of that clip, it's probably somewhere on my channel in the funniest moments because I'm sure Romp was doing something and I started laughing my ass off.